A very rare moment for the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. This is what just happened.
I spent a lot of time with the families of Evan and Paul and Alsu. And most of the time, as you can imagine, those are tough conversations. But not today. Today, excuse me. Today was a very good day. And we're going to build on it.
Wow, straight to Elizabeth Schulze, our White House correspondent. She was listening as well. I think that kind of caught everybody off guard. I've known Jake Sullivan for a really long time. I know that you've covered a number of his briefings. I have never seen him emotional like that. And why do you think that is, Elizabeth? I mean, clearly, as the National Security Advisor, he gets to know these family members. He also knows how bogus these charges are across the board. So, and this was a big deal. This wasn't just a one-by-one release. This was a large group of prisoners.
Yeah, the biggest prisoner swap since the Cold War, Kira. And you're absolutely right. I've been in a lot of those briefings with Jake Sullivan. I have never seen him choke up like that and get emotional. And it speaks to the fact that Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, was incredibly involved, Kira, in these negotiations, which we are told lasted many months. Back and forth between U.S. officials, they said between high-level Russian officials and other U.S. allies to try to get this prisoner swap done. And Jake Sullivan really came out and said, this is a good day that we are able to bring home Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan after those painstaking negotiations and time where the families might have gotten their hopes up. And he said, really, the families, Kira, kept him moving, that he had so many conversations. And clearly, we know that the administration was feeling the pressure from both of those Americans' families who continued to say, even when we saw, for example, other prisoner exchanges happen, that Paul Whelan might have been left behind. So today, this was a moment for Jake Sullivan to say, this is what happens when there is diplomacy. He made a point, Kira, of saying that there was no direct engagement between President Biden and Vladimir Putin as part of this exchange deal that came through. And when we asked President Biden about this, I was in the room with President Biden when he made those remarks, which, by the way, Kira, was pretty emotional, too, having the families beside him as he talked about how this deal came together. President Biden said, I don't need to speak to Putin. We know that the last time they talked was before Russia invaded Ukraine, but this was very high-level conversations happening at every other level with the president directly involved and really over a process of several months to get to this point where we are now today.
Pretty incredible. Elizabeth Schulze, thank you so much.